15 Steps to Get Rich in 1 Year, the 12-month blueprint. There comes a moment in life when you realize something uncomfortable: you've been playing too small. Not because you lack intelligence, not because you lack opportunity, but because no one ever handed you a clear, bold, unapologetic plan. Today, that changes, because getting rich is not luck, it's not magic, it's not reserved for a chosen few. It is a system, a blueprint, a decision, and if you commit, fully commit, for the next 12 months, your life can look completely different. Let's walk through the 15 steps. Step 1. Decide you're done being average. There is a silent trap that holds most people back, and it's called average. Average thinking, average habits, average expectations. It's comfortable, it's socially accepted, and it quietly steals your potential. But wealth does not come to those who settle. It comes to those who decide firmly, unapologetically, that average is no longer acceptable. This is where your journey begins, not with money, not with opportunity, but with a decision that you are done playing small. A decision that your future will not look like your past. A decision that you will demand more from yourself than anyone else ever has. Because the truth is simple. Your life changes the moment your standards change. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to rescue you. This is your responsibility and your power. When you decide, truly decide, something shifts. Your focus sharpens, your energy rises, your actions align, and from that moment forward, you are no longer drifting. You are building. So today, draw the line. No more excuses, no more waiting. You are done being average. Step 2. Define your number. Most people say they want to be richer, but they never define what rich actually means. And that's why they never get there, because vague goals create vague results. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. So let's get specific. What is your number? Is it 1 million, 10 million? Financial freedom at a certain monthly income? Your brain needs clarity to perform. When you define your number, you give your mind a destination, a clear endpoint to move toward. But this is more than just a figure, it's a commitment, because once you define your number, everything changes. Your decisions become sharper, your priorities become clearer, your actions become intentional. You stop chasing distractions and start chasing results. This number becomes your filter. Does this action move me closer or pull me away? And here's the key: don't play small. Your number should challenge you, it should stretch your thinking, it should demand growth, because the size of your goal determines the size of your effort. So decide today, put a number on your future, because once you see it clearly, you can start building it relentlessly. Step 3. Obsess over high-income skills. If you want extraordinary income, you must develop extraordinary skills. This is not optional, it is the foundation. The marketplace does not pay you for your time, it pays you for the value you bring. And high-income skills are how you deliver that value at scale. Skills like sales, marketing, communication, technology, persuasion. These are the engines of wealth. And here's the difference. Average people dabble, wealth builders obsess. They study, they practice. They refine every single day because they understand one simple truth. The more valuable you become, the more you earn. In today's world, you are one skill away from changing your life, one skill away from multiplying your income, one skill away from creating freedom, but it requires focus, not jumping from one thing to another, not chasing shortcuts, but committing deeply to mastery. When you become exceptional at something the market values, opportunities find you. Money flows to you, so choose your skill and then go all in, because skill is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Step 4. Eliminate distractions ruthlessly. You do not lack time, you lack focus. In a world designed to distract you, attention has become your most valuable asset. And if you don't control it, something else will. Social media, endless entertainment, mindless scrolling. These are not harmless habits, they are silent barriers to your success. Because every moment you spend consuming, is a moment you are not creating. Wealth requires deep focus. It requires sustained effort. It requires your full attention, and that means making hard choices. Saying no to things that don't matter, cutting off what drains your energy, protecting your time like it's your most valuable investment because it is. This is not about balance, not right now. This is about acceleration. For the next 12 months, you must become disciplined, intentional, relentless, because the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence. It's focus. So take control, audit your day, remove the noise, build an environment that forces you to win. Because when distractions disappear, progress becomes inevitable. Step 5. Build one income engine. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to do too much at once. Multiple ideas, multiple projects, multiple distractions, and the result, no real progress anywhere. Wealth is built through focus, not fragmentation. You need one income engine, one vehicle, one clear path to scale. Something you can commit to fully. Something you can improve every single day. Something that has the potential to grow beyond your time. Because when you concentrate your energy in one direction, momentum builds, and momentum is powerful. It compounds, it accelerates, it creates opportunities you never saw before. But if you split your attention across too many things, you dilute your effort and delay your results. This is about depth, not breadth. Pick one path, commit to it, stay with it long enough to see it grow. Because success is not about doing everything, it's about doing the right thing consistently, and once that engine starts running, you don't just earn. You scale. Step 6. Sell before you're ready. Perfection is one of the most dangerous illusions in the path to success. It convinces you to wait, to prepare, to delay until everything is just right. But here's the truth: if you wait until you're ready, you'll wait forever. Wealth is built through action, not preparation. You learn by doing, you improve by executing, and the fastest way to grow is to step into the market before you feel ready. Sell your idea, offer your service, launch your product. Yes, it won't be perfect. Yes, you will make mistakes. But those mistakes are not failures, they are feedback. Every attempt sharpens your skills. Every interaction builds your confidence. And most importantly, every action moves you forward, because the market rewards those who show up, not those who wait. So stop overthinking, stop delaying, take the leap, because progress comes from movement, not hesitation. And the sooner you start, the sooner you grow. Step 7. Master the art of value creation. If there is one principle that governs wealth above all else, it is this: you are paid in direct proportion to the value you create. Not the hours you work, not how hard you try, but the impact you deliver. The marketplace is simple. It rewards solutions. The bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the reward you receive. This is where most people get it wrong. They focus on effort instead of outcome, activity instead of results, but wealth builders think differently. They ask, what does the market need? How can I solve it better, faster, or more effectively? And then they execute relentlessly. Value creation is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. It's about understanding people, their needs, their frustrations, their desires, and positioning yourself as the solution. When you do that consistently, something powerful happens. You become indispensable. And when you become indispensable, income is no longer a struggle. It becomes a byproduct. So shift your mindset. Stop asking, how can I make money? Start asking, how can I create value? Because that question changes everything. Step 8. Track every rupee. What you don't track, you lose. It's that simple. Money has a silent behavior. It disappears when ignored, and it multiplies when managed. Most people avoid looking at their finances. They guess, they assume. They hope, but hope is not a financial strategy. Wealth requires awareness, precision, control. You must know where your money is coming from and exactly where it is going. Every rupee has a role, every expense has a consequence, because when you track your money, patterns emerge. Leaks become visible, opportunities become clear. You begin to make decisions with intention instead of emotion. And that is where control begins. This is not about restriction, it's about power. Because when you control your money, you control your future. Start simple, write it down, use tools, build systems, but most importantly, be consistent, because discipline in small things creates results in big things. And over time, that discipline compounds, turning chaos into clarity and clarity into wealth. Step 9. Reinvest aggressively. The moment you start earning more, a new challenge appears. What do you do with the money? Most people celebrate too early. They upgrade their lifestyle, increase their expenses, reward themselves too soon, and without realizing it, they stay stuck. Because wealth is not built by spending. It is built by reinvesting. Your income is not your reward. It is your fuel to grow faster, scale bigger, expand further. Every rupee you reinvest into your skills, your business, your systems becomes a seed. And seeds, when planted correctly, multiply. This requires discipline, the ability to delay gratification in exchange for exponential growth. It means choosing long-term success over short-term comfort, because the goal is not to look rich, it is to become rich. And that requires patience. Reinvest into what works, double down on momentum, strengthen your foundation. Because when you keep feeding the system that generates your income, it grows beyond you. And that is when wealth stops being effort and starts becoming inevitability. Step 10. Build relentless consistency. Success is not built in moments of motivation. It is built in moments of discipline. Because motivation fades, it comes and goes, it rises and falls, but consistency is what creates results. The problem is most people rely on how they feel, and when they don't feel like working, they stop. But winners don't negotiate with their emotions. They show up when it's hard, they show up when it's boring. They show up when no one is watching because they understand something powerful. Small actions repeated daily create massive outcomes over time. It's not about doing something extraordinary once. It's about doing the right things again and again. Day after day, week after week, and at first the progress is invisible. It feels slow. It feels insignificant. But then something shifts. The results begin to compound, and what once felt small becomes unstoppable. So build your standard, decide what must be done, and do it regardless of how you feel, because consistency is not glamorous. But it is unstoppable, and it is the difference between wishing and winning. Step 11. Learn faster than everyone else. In today's world, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is, because information is everywhere, anyone can access it. Anyone can consume it, but very few people turn it into results. That's where you separate yourself. Wealth builders don't just learn, they execute. They take ideas and turn them into action immediately. And they do it faster than everyone else, because speed matters. The faster you learn, the faster you adapt. The faster you adapt, the faster you grow, and in a competitive world, that speed becomes your advantage. You don't need to know everything, you need to know what matters and apply it quickly. Learn from books, from mentors, from experience, but don't get stuck in endless preparation, because learning without action is just entertainment. So create a cycle, learn, apply, adjust, repeat over and over again, and as you do, your growth accelerates. Because while others are still thinking, you are already moving, and in that movement you win. Step 12. Surround yourself with growth. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. The people you spend time with, the conversations you engage in, the standards you are exposed to, all of it influences your thinking. And your thinking determines your results. If you are surrounded by comfort, you will stay comfortable. If you are surrounded by excuses, you will make excuses. But if you surround yourself with growth, everything changes. You begin to think bigger, act bolder, expect more from yourself, because you are no longer the highest standard in the room. And that is where growth begins. Seek out people who challenge you, who push you, who refuse to let you settle. Because proximity creates possibility, you don't need a large circle, you need the right circle. Even one conversation can shift your perspective. Even one connection can open new doors, so be intentional, upgrade your environment, choose growth over comfort. Because when you change what surrounds you, you change what becomes possible. Step 13. Take calculated risks. There is no path to wealth without risk, but let's be clear, this is not reckless risk. This is calculated, intentional, strategic risk. Because staying safe has a cost, and that cost is stagnation, most people avoid risk because they fear failure. But what they don't realize is this: doing nothing is the biggest risk of all, because while you wait, opportunities pass. While you hesitate, others move forward. Wealth builders think differently. They assess, they analyze. They prepare and then they act, not blindly but boldly. They understand that every opportunity carries uncertainty, but also potential. And they are willing to step into that uncertainty because they know growth lives there. You don't need to take massive risks. You need to take smart ones, risks where the upside outweighs the downside, where the lessons are as valuable as the outcome, because every calculated risk moves you forward, whether you win or learn. So stop waiting for certainty. It doesn't exist. Take the step, because on the other side of risk is progress. Step 14. Scale what works. Success leaves clues. When something works, when it produces results, you don't question it. You scale it, but most people do the opposite. They get distracted. They chase something new. They abandon what's already working. And in doing so, they reset their progress. Wealth builders understand leverage. They identify what's effective, and they amplify it. More time, more resources, more focus, because scaling is where growth becomes exponential. It's the difference between earning and multiplying. When you find momentum, protect it, strengthen it, expand it, build systems around it, automate where possible, delegate where needed, turn effort into efficiency, because the goal is not to work more, it's to achieve more with what already works. And as you scale, something powerful happens. Your results grow faster than your effort. That is leverage. That is acceleration. So pay attention to what works, and when you find it, don't hesitate, scale it. Step 15. Think like the person you want to become. Everything begins in the mind, before the money, before the success, before the results. There is a way of thinking, because your actions reflect your identity. And your identity shapes your outcomes. If you think like someone who struggles, you will act accordingly. But when you begin to think like the person you want to become, everything changes. You make better decisions. You hold higher standards. You move with intention. This is not about pretending. It's about alignment. Ask yourself, how would the successful version of me act today? What choices would they make? What would they tolerate? And what would they reject? And then leave that answer. Because transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens in daily choices, in small decisions repeated consistently. And over time, those decisions reshape who you are, until one day you realize you are no longer becoming that person. You have become them. And when that shift happens, success is no longer something you chase. It is something you embody. Now here's the truth most people won't tell you. This won't be easy. You will be tested. You will doubt yourself. But in 12 months, you will either have excuses or results. And the difference between those two is what you decide today. So ask yourself, are you ready to build a life that most people only dream about, because the blueprint is in your hands? Now it's time to execute.